What is up? Sean Cannell here. And in this first session of our YouTube challenge, we're really doing like a deep dive masterclass all about subscribers. Now, when you get 100,000 subscribers, YouTube sends you this silver play button. But how do you get your first or next 1,000 subscribers? I want to talk about some of the changes that have been happening on YouTube and how to really position yourself now to crush it on YouTube in 2025. Some of the best ways in light of all these new trends and announcements from YouTube and all of this different stuff. And we're going to be covering a strategy that, although it might seem stupid simple, it's actually incredibly profound. And I believe that by the end of this training, you're going to know exactly what to do next for your YouTube channel to ultimately get more subscribers and grow to 1,000 subscribers and beyond. And what's cool about the strategy is it doesn't require any fancy video editing skills or any high levels of talent or fancy gear or even really experience. Anybody can do this with just their smartphone. So let's dive into the 5 simple but powerful YouTube tips for getting views and growing to 1,000 subscribers and beyond. You know, if we're just meeting, my name is Sean Cannell, and I've started a couple different YouTube channels, got 3 silver play buttons, a gold play button, wrote a book called YouTube Secrets with my friend Benji. The 2nd edition is out now, and really am obsessed with helping you win on YouTube. And in this session, I want to cover new YouTube stats that you need to know for 2025, a cool tool for discovering what exact videos that are getting views, how to find video ideas that will get views. I'm going to be revealing how I earned $39,388 from one YouTube video using a simple strategy. And that number is ridiculous. Like, I know, listen, I feel the same way about like weird gurus or get rich quick stuff. That's not what this training is, but this is true nonetheless. Like, I'm going to be talking about an actual strategy that has generated that much money from one YouTube video. Not saying that that's going to be easy, but imagine if you got 10% of those results. Like if you watch this entire training and you get 10% of those results, that's like $4,000, right? What if you could make one video? Would that be enough to move your life a little bit? $4,000 off one video, $4,000 over the next 30, 60, 90 days. And then we'll talk about how to reach your goals on YouTube faster this year and some of the mindset stuff that's very important for success on YouTube. Now, tag me on Official Think Media on Instagram. We're actually giving away free copies of my book, YouTube Secrets. If you do a profile post and you tag Official Think Media and use the hashtag #GrowWithVideo, maybe you take a selfie at your battle station. That's what that is right there, where I'm recording this and live streaming and doing this right now. Now, again, you might be like, I'm in the corner of my bedroom and I got my cat next to me. That's bonus points. If there's a cat or a dog in the photo, more credit for dogs. Just kidding. Cats and dogs are both great. And ultimately, then, but whatever, wherever you're at, back porch, your battle station, your garage, anywhere, you know, shoot a picture. It could be, you don't have to be in the photo if you don't want to. Take a picture of your laptop, your notes that you're taking during the challenge. And we're going to be doing some cool giveaways. But it's got to be a profile post because stories expire in 24 hours. So just so that we have some chance to see what you're doing. Now, let's answer this question. Is it too late to start YouTube going into 2025? Well, the answer is no, but let's back that up with data. So right now there's 2.7 billion monthly active users on YouTube. That's about 1/3 of the world's population. It's the 2nd most visited website in the world. And those numbers show no signs of slowing down. And you might be feeling right now, well, Sean, I feel like competition is rising. And there's more people doing what I'm doing on YouTube. And you'd be exactly right, because a lot of people are joining the creator economy. But let's just clarify one simple concept: supply and demand. So when there's any given opportunity in online business or social media, you want to think about how much supply is there and how much demand is there. Now, again, supply, that's competitors. That's like, oh, there's other people. But the good news is this: demand, 2.7 billion monthly active users. Every few months, hundreds of thousands of new people are actually getting internet access because of things like Starlink and around the world. And YouTube continues to grow and the internet continues to grow. So the basically good news is this: that demand for good content continues to skyrocket. That's the point of this challenge, though. What are the skills needed, the strategies needed to stand out amongst the competition? We're going to be talking about that. And in this very session, we'll be sharing some strategies. Now, the cool thing is YouTube's also an international opportunity. YouTube is localized in more than 100 countries and is available in over 80 languages. And, recently at the Made on YouTube event, there's radical things happening right now with AI dubbing that will be natively integrated with YouTube, meaning that very soon people will be able to watch your content in their own native language with incredible, they can just click right over and all of a sudden I'm speaking English, but now I'm speaking Spanish. So now there's more opportunity to get views in different countries, different languages, which is more money and ad revenue. But here's the problem. If you don't take action, if you don't post good content and you don't create a library of content, like I've posted thousands of videos, you might go, well, good for you, Sean, I'm just starting. But here's my point, is my back library will be, boom, be able to be dubbed in other languages. And all of a sudden, without doing more work, again, with the strategy we teach at Think Media, which is like, let's make videos today that keep getting watched tomorrow, without even doing more work, my back library now is more accessible to an international audience. Friend, it's a really good time to get serious about YouTube and make the right videos. But here's what's also crazy. Did you know that YouTube is the #1 streamer in America? Like YouTube is bigger than Netflix, Hulu. It's the #1 streaming platform. People are watching YouTube in their living rooms more than any Disney Plus. YouTube continues to really take over digital media, period. In fact, the Washington Post said this: the most consequential technology in America is YouTube. It's the most popular social app, music service. I like this one. The healthiest economy on the internet. What does that mean? It pays the best. The financial opportunity on YouTube is superior to TikTok and Instagram. No other brand has been able to, social media platform has been able to compete with the fact that basically YouTube gives creators half of the advertising revenue. The way they structured the platform is why it's the leader. Technologically, the fact you got the 4K content, the streaming, the pod, like all the different, the user interface, it's the long form juggernaut. It's also now the short form. It's coming and it's surpassed TikTok. So YouTube is king. Like it's just the #1 platform. And the financial opportunity specifically also continues to expand right now. So if you're starting from scratch, it's not too late because there's new financial opportunities. This is actually an older stat. 200 million people are earning money from digital content creation. It's 2 years old, so this number is much higher. It's probably better to look at this from Yahoo Finance. They said the creator economy is the fastest growing segment of small business. So if you're making plans for 2025, man, I want to be my own boss. I want to make money from home. I want to go part-time at my job, or I love my job and I want to do a YouTube side hustle that brings in extra money so I can travel, get that home affordability, right? Like actually earn that extra money. Well, of all the different side hustle opportunities or online opportunities, Yahoo Finance, the creator economy is the fastest growing segment of small business. And I want to encourage you. In fact, you could shout me out. Are you doing this as a hobby or do you want to be a business? Type business if you want to do it as a business, or type hobby if you want to do it as a hobby. And this is a good mindset shift because I think for some of us, we're like, oh, I'm going to kind of like dabble in my approach to YouTube. Let me try this out, post a few videos. But we've learned this: a common ingredient of those that are successful on YouTube is the mindset that they approach their YouTube channel. And let me summarize it by saying those who really crush it on YouTube, they don't approach it with a dabbler mindset. They approach it with a dominating mindset. Like they're not just casual about it. They're like, I'm going to treat this like an online business, which is a whole different shift. I'm kind of posting some videos. That's fine. That's the hobby mindset. But it's like, I'm going to really treat this like a business. I'm going to treat this like with a kind of a professional mindset. And I see some people are saying both. I love that. A lot of though people take business, ministry too. Great point to put. Of course, I know it's debated, like, should you treat church like a business? You shouldn't, but you also should, like, because you need money for the mission. So ultimately having a business mindset, Blair says, help me with my mindset. I'm here to help. Look at this. This is the bottom line. The creator economy is the fastest growing segment of small business. If you're taking notes, I would write that down. I need to develop a business mindset. And how would a CEO think about my YouTube channel as opposed to a creator think about my YouTube channel? Not that you have to become a CEO. It's like super weird to say, but you know what I mean? And look at this. Did you know that the White House hosted a creator economy conference in August of 2024? This just speaks to the maturity and the growth of the creator economy. But my favorite thing is this: Goldman Sachs, they said the creator economy could approach $500 billion by 2027. So that means this: as we go into 2025, that really means that the next 2 to 3 years are going to be the best 2 to 3 years in the creator economy. Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be challenges. We need more rigor than ever before, more strategy than ever before, a different approach than what's worked in the past, because there's a lot of outdated tactics that just don't work anymore. But the growth is there. The numbers are there. The math is there. Sometimes it can be hard. You have a spouse, you have a partner, and you're like, I kind of want to start a YouTube channel, and they have like 10 reasons why it won't work. Well, think about all the reasons why it will work. The next 3 years, this whole thing is going to double. That's what Goldman Sachs research reveals. It's the fastest growing business type. Hundreds of millions of people are earning money through these methodologies. So this also isn't even just like, oh, that's like some random people get lucky. There's a lot of maturity that's come to the creator economy. Like, it's a real career. It's just proven. It's one of the YouTube, besides literally people that actually work at YouTube, but how many jobs YouTube has created, it's bigger than a lot of industries, the creator economy. But what are the skill sets, mindsets, and strategies that you need to thrive in the new YouTube landscape? Well, that's the point of this session, and that's the point of our 5-day challenge. And so here's the bottom line. YouTube is healthy, growing, and it's the most profitable platform to establish your brand. And that's really what we've been seeing our students get results with. And I'm actually so pumped to see so many different individuals from backgrounds, all different niches, getting incredible results with YouTube. And they're following the one strategy we're going to be talking about today. And when we think about, is it too late? Because if you look at some of these examples, especially by the time you get a silver play button, you're like, well, that didn't happen overnight. Absolutely. You're right. It takes time to get to 100,000 subscribers. But how long could it take to get to 1,000 subscribers? Well, one of our students, Marco, from Just Dream Italy, he's an international property hunter and promoter, and he's exploring Italy to find dream homes on and off the beaten path. He's a real estate investor. He's doing a few other things. But from publishing his first video, it took him 9 days to reach 1,000 subscribers and only 15 days to get monetized. And he started like in the less than 2 years. So while that's super fast and really cool, I actually surveyed our Video Rake It Academy students, and it was something like 15% or 20% had actually got to 1,000 subscribers in under 6 months. A lot of people had got to 1,000 subscribers in under a year. And then, of course, we have different paces as we're growing our channel. And part of that is your channel topic itself, the subject matter of your channel, a lot of different factors, and we'll be exploring. But I just want to encourage you, it's not too late to start. And we're seeing countless examples of people that are starting new channels and having an incredible result, but specifically talking about the stupid, simple strategy we're going to be sharing in this session, because that is what Just Dream Italy, Marco, implemented, which brings us to the question of what is the fastest and most predictable way to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube? Well, here's the strategy. And then I'm going to break down 5 tips that you need to know to make it work. So here's the first strategy for our 5-day challenge. Number 1, the fastest way to create predictable growth on YouTube is to make clear and concise videos that answer specific questions. We call this the ASQ strategy, answer specific questions. So the fastest way to create predictable growth on YouTube is to make clear and concise videos that answer specific questions. Tip number 1, smart creators research before they press record. Smart creators research before they press record. So meet Mary. She's a former New Yorker now living the simple life with her sweet husband in the Texas Hill Country. And she wanted to start creating content. She loves traditional cooking, bone broths, ferments, all this different stuff, but she didn't know where to start. She didn't know how to do YouTube right, didn't know how to use a camera, didn't even really know how to shoot good video on her phone, or even what videos to make. But after being a part of our YouTube channel and then our membership program, she really followed our system, which helped her build her confidence to start creating videos. And actually, one of Mary's tip, I say you got to just press record. She says you got to just put the apron on. Like for her, the routine and ritual was like, I'm nervous. I don't want to film. I don't know if I'm going to, are people going to judge me? I don't know if people are, just put the apron on. Just put the apron on. You can type that in the chat. Just press record. And she was tapping into the fact, using this strategy, that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. As we go into 2025, this is one of the biggest opportunities on YouTube. And this is why. A lot of people are emphasizing viral YouTube strategies, that the search engine aspect of YouTube is being underemphasized in today's world. For you watching this, you have a privilege and an opportunity, because it's almost like a secret strategy that's hidden in plain sight. Because while a lot of times the search-based content that we're talking about won't go viral, although if you keep watching over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how these videos get millions of views. So however you want to define viral, remember that this strategy is to create predictable growth. It's one of the best ways to start when you don't have a fancy camera, any significant levels of talent or knowledge or experience, because anybody can do this. So here's how it works. Is when Mary started making videos, she'd make a video like how to make apple cider vinegar with the mother. And here is her video that is now 5 years old. But this video has almost 1 million views. And what is it doing? It's answering a specific question. So what Mary did was created a video answering a specific question that people are actively searching for. That's a big key. What's a question your target audience is actively searching for this month? Now, this strategy doesn't work if you answer a specific question that no one is actively searching for. And that's why I'll be sharing with you some tools to identify the questions people are actually asking. And what you'd call this is using like a keyword research tool. You can verify search volume. And some of these numbers, they don't have to be crazy. You just want to make sure there's something there. Because again, if you throw out a video that no one is looking for and no one's actively searching for, and then you're frustrated that it doesn't get views, that's on you. Because you didn't, remember, tip number 1, research before you press record. So now, fast forward to today, using this strategy, Mary actually reached 1 million subscribers. And what's wild is she did have pretty rapid success. Like it was pretty fast. But this took 5 years. She started YouTube when she was 60 years old. And, at first fought a lot of resistance in her mindset. Is there too much competition? Am I too late? Are people going to judge me? All this stuff. But she decided to punch fear in the face and punch perfectionism in the face and press record and then stick with it. She stayed committed. And not only has she gotten the silver play button and the gold play button, she has a cookbook out now with Random House. It's been incredible. And Mary's vision of helping people, whether their kitchen is in a city apartment or in the suburbs or a farmhouse in the country, she wanted to preserve these traditional cooking skills. And that's why we speak to wanting to help purpose-driven people like you. Our mission is to help 1 million purpose-driven people create a full-time living doing what they love while making a difference with YouTube. So how do you get that income side? Because now Mary, as they were looking at their retirement, her and her husband, they were like, man, we're going to survive, but we're not really going to be thriving in retirement. Now, with a 6-figure income and all of this stuff, her wildest dreams have just, everything has exceeded her expectations. And it's not just about the money, though. Of course not. It's about the impact. It's about the difference she's making. It's about getting to share what she loves and the community she's building. It's so cool what's possible on the other side of taking massive action on YouTube. And here's the data. 70% of viewers use YouTube to help them solve a problem. So as we talk about the ASQ strategy, you might be thinking, well, Sean, but I'm a vlogger, or Sean, I'm a gamer, or there's, I don't know how this strategy fits into my channel. Well, let me encourage you. This is just one of 16 different strategies we teach. And I feel like these strategies are like tools in a tool belt. Like if you're going to build a house, you don't just use one tool. You use a hammer in a certain situation. You use a screw gun in a certain situation. You use a saw in a certain situation. So today we're going deep on one strategy called the ASQ strategy. And I just want you to consider, even if you don't see how this fits for your channel yet, how could you tap into the 70% of people that want to solve a problem on YouTube? How is your video solving a problem? What is your target audience, the viewers you want to reach? What are their biggest problems that you could help them solve in your videos? What questions is your ideal audience searching for on YouTube? Well, Sean, how could I find that? Brings us to tip number 2. Use tools to find awesome video ideas. Use tools to find awesome video ideas. So here's kind of my story of how I stumbled on this answering specific questions thing and how it changed my life. So I grew up on 6 acres an hour north of Seattle in a place called Arlington, Washington. There's me climbing a tree. I kind of felt out of place because I was a skater kid. I'm wearing hookups. That's a niche skate brand back in the 90s. And, you know, at my school, everyone wore Carhartt clothes, not because it was like cool and hipster today, you know, like right today, especially in fall, you've got like girls that are like, my Carhartt beanie, pumpkin spice latte, you know, like, okay, cool. But like, you're not like working on a farm. All right. You don't even own any farm animals. We did. I grew up with goats, dogs, cats. Those aren't farm animals, chickens, you know, horses. And so, but at my school, everyone was wearing Carhartt because like they actually were in Future Farmers of America. And, you know, school was weird for me because I always felt like I didn't fit in because I was a farm boy who liked rap and punk rock, import cars. Shout out when Fast and Furious 1 dropped. That Honda Civic 1994 teal green right there, I had a green ground lighting kit. Come on. I had a short shifter, intake, exhaust, 2 12-inch subwoofers, band pass box, tinted, with yellow trim access. You know what it is. And so, and that's that's a picture of my fake ID. John Blaze. It never worked, actually. I mean, I tried to have it like buy stuff. It didn't work. They were like, this is not real. Obviously, look at the bleached hair. Come on, Eminem. He's back. Real Slim Shady. So ultimately, growing up, I felt like I didn't really fit in. And eventually I got into video. So I started actually doing video for my local church after I stopped trying to use fake IDs. You know, you can see. So I got expelled from Christian high school, but God is good. And, you know, prodigal son. Eventually I sort of had some changes happen in my life. And I started volunteering at my local church doing video. So in 2003, you could see we've got some Home Depot shop lights, those yellow lights. When balling on a budget, I just want to encourage you, it's not about your resources. It's about your resourcefulness. Think about at your house, what could you do in your garage? Set up a studio, put up a backdrop, put up a sheet. You know, it's that business mindset, like clean up your set. Well, Sean, my house is cluttered. Like you could get creative. You know, one of the coolest ways to actually, you know, if you have like a room where you don't have a lot of space, is those like clothing wardrobe things. You know, you could just quickly make a background for your videos and hide the chaos that's in your house and your room. But bottom line, we were balling on a budget. You know, it's not about your resources. It's about your resourcefulness. And I started making videos for my local church, and they were terrible. And I was learning my skills. And eventually I got the courage to post my first video, like on my own channel. And actually, let me just play a little clip from it.
All right, so this is, I guess, the first Sean Thinks vlog, and I'm going to try to vlog every single day, mainly so I can remember what I'm even doing and what's going on, because I just feel like I have a lot that I'm thinking about, and I figured, hey, why not share it? And if you find something interesting, that's awesome. Now, this is definitely as real as it gets, so I'm not going to try to be energetic or entertaining. Though maybe sometimes I will. But anyways,
it's bad. It's bad. It's that like, that's not good. I mean, that was not a good video. You know, it's also funny. I posted this in like 2010. I want to climb inside of young Sean's mind and be like, bro, what were you thinking? Like you could write down some notes. By the way, speak about my sheet idea. Like, hey, hang up a nice sheet to hide the clutter behind you. That's what I didn't do. Like you can see it hanging there. I didn't even hang it up. What's so funny about this is this literally was like my maiden voyage, my first video ever. This is the Genesis account. And I look back, I'm like, I probably could have had like a more, a higher level of excellence mindset. Because think about the strategy. Imagine, and this actually, you could apply this to your channel. What is the elevator pitch for your channel? If you wanted to convince me, hey, Sean, here's why you should subscribe to my channel. It's nice to have that in what we'd call a tagline. And we'll be covering that tomorrow on session number 2 a little bit. But good news for you. If my first video could be this bad, there's hope for all of us. Because my elevator pitch for my first video, like I imagine if I was like, someone goes, hey, so you're doing YouTube, why should I subscribe? And I'm like, well, let me make you a few promises. First thing I'm going to promise you, I'm not going to bring any energy or entertainment value to this. So one reason you might want to subscribe is just low energy, no entertainment value, and like really no effort, as you can see. Now, the second reason you should subscribe is I'm not putting any planning into this. I haven't planned this out. I have no idea what I'm doing. But now saying all that, hit the subscribe button. Like this is going to be awesome, right? Like what a pitch, Sean, your sales skills for selling your YouTube channel subscription is just at an all-time level. And I am joking and deadly serious, obviously here. But here's my encouragement to you. Do the opposite of what I did. Like just maybe think about a reason viewers should subscribe that would be valuable. Like maybe do put effort into your YouTube channel. So anyways, pretty funny. But here's 2 essential ingredients I discovered about success on YouTube. Because even though that video was so bad, there's some really big lessons that I think we can take away. And number 1 is this: start before you're ready. Start before you're ready. You'll never feel ready, right? Like ready is a lie. And there's something about, we've had some people in our community get confused because they're like, Sean, well, you say like research and like get your channel right and use all these strategies, but you also say start before you're ready. Which is it? Is it like research and like really get things right? Or is it start? It's both. It's both. Like you should do your best to research and do your best to get your brand right and do your best to do all that stuff. But if you wait until perfect, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. So start before you're ready. You got to start while you still feel nervous or like you don't feel like your brand is perfect or like poop your pants scared. Like you're just putting it out there and you're still like dealing with trauma because you didn't fit in high school and like you think they'll be watching your videos and they're not. But like what she said to you, it's like talking about like you didn't fit in with the popular crowd and now you think they're going to be watching your YouTube channel. Maybe you're my therapy session today. But start before you're ready. And so even though that first video was terrible, it's also amazing because I started. I posted it. I posted one video and then I posted another one. That's absolutely going to be a key to success because you cannot steer a parked car. You got to get moving. You got to get taking action. But it brings us to the second big lesson, which you got to commit to learning new skills. We would not be talking if I did not make probably the most important commitment to my YouTube channel that has changed my life for where I am today. What's that most commitment? Learn new skills. Treating skill building as the number 1 investment I could ever make in my life. This is why I have always been aggressive to be a part of a challenge like this, to read books or listen to audiobooks, to invest in online education, online courses, because skill building, Eric Ries is a famous startup founder, and he said the only way to win is to learn faster than anyone else. I got to learn new skills. And so even though I couldn't just start and stay the same. I had to start and be committed to transformation. That I got to unlearn some things. I got to learn some things, and I got to build up my skill set because yesterday's home runs will not win today's games. You need to acknowledge yourself when you post your first video. That's a home run, but it's not enough to win the next game because now let me get a little bit better for the next video and a little bit better for the next video. And this is when I then started to discover, okay, I'm researching, I'm learning about search engines, I'm learning about online marketing, I'm investing in myself. I started to buy is any information I could get my hands on, right? Investing in learning skills. So I was buying online courses that taught me about SEO, search engine optimization, things like that. And as a result, I started to make some videos while I was working at Red Robin, actually. I just went there last night with my two boys, this exact Red Robin where that photo was taken. And I worked at Red Robin for like 10 years, from 17 to 27. And one day you could see I was actually driving to Red Robin in my Ford Taurus, and I was filming with my Droid X, which I mounted on the dash of my Ford Taurus. And by the way, I love this shot composition. It wasn't like a very good mount. And so the best shot composition I could get was like this. Like, imagine if I did this entire challenge, like over here, I wouldn't even be in focus. Like, all right, welcome to this session. Welcome to this. So just, it's funny. And, but here's what's crazy is the video actually did all right. I mean, it got 7,000 views. You can see I posted this 12 years ago, but here's what I want you to notice. I made a video on how to get started in video production and video editing. Because by this time, which we're talking like 2009, I had been doing video for 6 years. We call this, if you're thinking about starting a channel and you're dealing with imposter syndrome or doubt, like, why would anyone listen to me? Or I'm not like an expert yet. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need a degree. All you need is a 10% edge. And that means if you're 10% ahead of somebody else, you can start answering specific questions to help them solve their problem. So 6 years into it, I had been doing video production for my church. And then I started a video production business and started doing wedding videos. So all I did, starting messy, was I filmed a 10-minute and 36-second video on the way to work. It's not about your resources. It's about your resourcefulness. I don't have time. You can film. And you're like, well, I want to make better videos than that. Well, these videos were like stepping stones that helped me make progress. But what was I doing? I was answering specific questions. And the way I stumbled over this was, instead of just coming up with random video ideas, I discovered one of the coolest tools, which is the YouTube search bar itself. So let's check this out. Did you know that you could go to the YouTube search bar, and let's talk about video editing? That's what I was doing. How to get started in video editing. Cool. These predictions right here is YouTube actually using autocomplete to finish my sentence and to tell me what real humans all around the world are searching for in order of how popular it is. So you can take your niche, how to get started in videography, how to get started in video editing. And notice when we say answer specific questions, where this gets exciting is like sports videography. Because how to get started in videography, well, there's like 1,000 different types of videography. Oh, but how to get started in sports videography? How to get started in wedding videography? Wow. And so you can start going down into these different insights. But watch this. If we just were to say like video editing and video editing for YouTube, techniques, tips and tricks is a different list of ideas that YouTube is giving us for free. Now you also can, you could go video editing space and you could type A, video editing Adobe Premiere Pro, video editing apps for iPhone. You could delete the A, you could go B, video editing basics. My gosh, it's endless. Okay, well, let's go this other direction. You can go before the video editing and go underscore space. And now it's going to put this in a word in front, and video editing will come second to it. CapCut video editing, best video editing apps. And if your brain's already melting, well, let's put an A in front of the underscore. AI video editing, anniversary video editing, and then we'll go B, and then we could go C. We could go Cricut video editing. I'm assuming that's software. CapCut lyrics video editing. And what are we seeing here? We are seeing specific questions. For this strategy to work when you're a new channel trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, the question isn't, what questions can I answer? One of the mistakes we see. Oh, Sean said answer questions. Relax, Rebecca. I said answer specific questions. If your name's Rebecca, that was just made up. I love you, Rebecca, if you're watching this. ASQ, answer specific questions. Sean, it's too crowded out there. No, it isn't. You just got to find the angles, the golden video ideas. You got to find the way to break through. And once you also get known, because this is why this is a stupid, simple strategy that you can see. Actually, we're going to go deeper. We got 5 tips on it, but it seems basic. Unfortunately, a lot of people miss out on this opportunity because they're like, oh, it seems too simple or it's too obvious. Or I already tried that. I want to encourage you. I actually think you probably haven't tried it. You haven't gone deep enough in it to really go all the way to the specific questions that can attract your first few viewers, your first 100, your first 1,000. But then even advanced creators, I think, start underestimating the power of this strategy for creating sustainable and consistent success on YouTube. And so that's the tool. The tool is use the YouTube search bar. And there's probably around 20 to 30 different ways you can chop up the words in there to get all kinds of different insights. We don't have time to go into that right now. But playing around with the predictions and the autocomplete of the YouTube search bar can lead you to golden video ideas that will help you get views and help you get your first 1,000 subscribers. So here's what I continue to do. This one, by the way, I eventually changed the thumbnail later. You can see me sitting in my car again, on a drive again, making a video again on video editing PC tips, how to build an HD video editing machine. Shout out to high definition. 12 years ago, dude, you want to go high def? This is how. I mean, obviously 4K today, whatever else. But like, I made a video. I went back because I realized there was interest in the topic, got 11,000 views over time from answering a specific question. How to record Skype interviews. Shout out to before there was StreamYard and Zoom didn't even exist. And it was like crazy to record Skype interviews, which let me just give you one other nugget. Here's also why YouTube will never be too crowded, because there's always going to be new stuff happening. Like the definition of saturation comes from the idea of like a sponge. And eventually, if you submerge a sponge in water, it's not possible for this sponge to hold more water. It's now fully saturated, 100% saturated. Well, check it out. YouTube cannot be too saturated. Why? Because YouTube, the sponge itself, is going to grow infinitely. Well, Sean, how can you say that? Because there's always new shows. There's always new Lord of the Rings show that review channels can talk about. There's always new theme parks that are opening that vloggers can talk about. There's always new tech that tech people can talk about. There's always new. There was Skype, and then there was Zoom, and then there was StreamYard, and then there was Riverside, and then there was, and so you might need to get a little bit more strategic, but just for those that, and I'm empathetic to feeling the challenge of finding these ideas and developing. And by the way, over, this 5-day challenge, we're going to be talking about our 7-step system. We teach a methodical way to consistently come up with innovative video ideas so you never run out of creativity and of being able to find those golden opportunities. Like, for example, you also think about just the power of one and answering specific questions. I made a video on the best greens powder, which is a review of a green juice powder for health that you mix with water. And I love all kinds of health and biohacking stuff. I found this product. I answered a specific question, made a video about it. And this one video has earned over $20,000. Now we're going to be talking about ad revenue is only about $1,500, but we'll be talking about how I earned a lot of money from this video on Friday, on the 5th session of the challenge. And so if you haven't registered for that, you can go to tube1kchallenge.com, because we are streaming this session publicly on our Think Media Podcast YouTube channel. But the rest of the sessions are happening inside of our circle group. And we're going to be talking more about monetization later. But the power of one, you're really just one video away from getting discovered and hitting 1,000 subscribers. In fact, in a second, I'll show you how one video could generate all the subscribers you want. You're one video away from, again, I earned $20,000 off that video. I'm not saying results are typical, but imagine if you made one video that got 10% of those results. Would earning $2,000 from one video be enough for you to be like, oh, this YouTube thing's legit? But that's thinking different than 99% of people are thinking, because everyone's out here trying to get 4,000 hours of watch time and get their channel monetized. We'll help you do that as well. But this is about thinking about, okay, how can I answer specific questions? And then again, day 5, we'll go deeper in the monetization streams. But let's hit tip number 3. Start with simple videos that are easy to create. So the reason I love this strategy is we can get fancier later. We can do all kinds of different, more intense productions, a little bit tougher, fancier production. But what I love about the ASQ strategy is if you just grab your phone and like mount it to your Ford Taurus dashboard and then share about something that you have the 10% edge on. You're just 10% ahead of others. So you can say like, oh yeah, here's how I did it. And here's the 3 mistakes I did, or here's whatever. You're starting with something that's just easy. So keep it simple at the start. Start with simple video ideas that are easy to create. So these are some of our students, and Weber Enthusiast was talking about grilling and smoking meats and different things like that. Well, one of the things, and write this down, one of the additional ways we like to name the ASQ strategy is this: ASSQ strategy. Type it in the chat. A3SSQ strategy. Here's what it stands for. Answer stupid, simple, specific questions. So if I can make the point even deeper, it's not even just answer specific questions, but if it can be stupid and simple and specific, it's even better. Now, what do I mean? I mean, like, it seems so basic. It seems like so obvious. It's the exact reason why you can get so many views, because 99% of your competitors and other people are like, why would I even make that into a video? Everybody knows that already. Okay, well, let's look at Weber Enthusiast using the ASSQ strategy, answer stupid, simple, specific questions. He made a video on how to remove salt grinder top. Save money, the easy way to refill disposable salt and pepper shakers. He got 97,000 views. Let me talk to the haters. Oh, the ASQ strategy doesn't know, it's too basic. Oh, search-based is okay. Do you have 97,000 views, Frank? Do you have 97,000 views, Felicia? Again, I'm just making up names. Like, the ASQ strategy can get you big views because YouTube is a search engine, and 70% of people are going to YouTube to solve a problem. They want to save money refilling their salt and pepper shakers. And if you have a cooking channel, you just attracted viewers that would be great for your entire channel. So it's a win-win-win-win-win. You got 97,000 views. You got monetized. Like, one video could get you monetized if you want the YouTube ad revenue. One video can get you to 1,000 subscribers. You're literally one video away. Like, this is Andrew Finney. So Andrew, I love this shot. Okay, so here he's in Vegas. You can see he's got the nice mic. He's got the cool lighting. He's got his like tech all behind him. Pretty fancy. He helps people make sense of real estate. He's a real estate agent. He's also a United States Marine Corps vet. In fact, if any of you watching this or any of your family have served, thank you so much. Massive love and respect, and thank you for your service. In fact, my grandfather, Lowell Reed, was in the United States Army Air Corps during World War II. So just want to send you love and appreciation. But Andrew is a real estate agent. And now today his videos are pretty fancy. You know, he's gotten better over time. He's learned new skills. He's upgraded his gear as he's gone. But let's take it back to answering just simple, specific videos, stupid, specific, simple. And you're one video away, because here's a video, right? His camera quality, we're talking, he's like filming on like a baked potato. This is like a $30 webcam, okay? And the shot composition is not great. The audio is like echoey room audio, you know, and all of that stuff. But I'm not putting this video down. His camera skills, not great yet. But here's the key. It's the information he's sharing. It's the 10% edge. It's the fact that like he's got some scars and he's got some bruises and he's been through learning. He's made some mistakes in real estate. And he's had some wins, so he can help other people. And look at the title: 6 questions to ask when buying a new construction home. And look at the views: 126,000 views, answering specific questions. And remember, it's what you say in your videos and the value you give to the viewer That's what matters more than how fancy they look. Let's make them look fancy. Cool. But don't let that hold you back. Like you have to wait until you get another package from Amazon once you finally get that perfect piece of gear. I know you. That's what I do too. Amazon Prime's too easy to click the button. The one-click purchase is the worst thing ever. My wife's like, Sean, you bought another lens? Do you need another lens? I'm like, of course. You got to have a lens on all of these. But the gear, you don't need fancy gear to start. You can mount your smartphone to the dashboard of your Ford Taurus. And just like Andrew, you could shoot in whatever room with a webcam. But the key is we're researching before we press record. And we're following our 5 tips and we're answering specific questions. And here's what's crazy. Is this little blue number on screen, I'm going to put a red arrow to it. 0.7 VPH. Here's what this means. This means views per hour. Okay. So what does that mean? It means that Andrew's video, low production value, his skills weren't nearly what they were today. Why? He started before he was ready, and then he committed to learning new skills. But this video that's 6 years old is still getting 17 views a day, 6,205 views a year, and it's 6 years old, right? So the ASQ strategy works. And what's fascinating is consider a professional, a service provider, a business owner that is looking for leads and clients. Imagine having a video that's 6 years old that's getting you 17 views a day. Like, would it be enough to move the needle in your business to get 1, 2, or 3 qualified leads calling you a week and reaching out to you just on autopilot because you posted a video 6 years ago? Let's figure out how to make those videos. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. And then imagine if we got good at it. Like this was, he started out at a basic level and then he improved as he goes, which brings us to tip number 4, write catchy titles that make the viewer want to click. As we go into 2025, this is kind of one of the big changes where you don't want to be doing it the old way. You want to make sure you're doing it the new way, which is you want to have catchy titles that are still findable and searchable, but they also make the viewer want to click. So meet Larry. Larry's a good example of this. He's a chartered financial analyst, and he's faced a lot of challenges on his journey. His career in finance, at the start, he really struggled. He struggled with comparing himself with others. He actually failed his level 3 CFA exam a couple times, which caused him to get passed up for a job promotion. It was like a gut punch. I don't know if you've ever had a setback like that. Like you thought life was going to go one way, but then the person left you or betrayed you, or you thought you deserved the promotion or somebody else got it and you were looked over. Well, the powerful thing about Larry's story is that sometimes the greatest setbacks in our life can actually be the greatest set-ups in our life for a change that takes us to a better destination. Because it just caused him to reevaluate things when he got passed up for that job promotion. And so he started thinking about, okay, what about if I started, creating content? I got into this creator economy thing. What if I started a YouTube channel? I got passed up for the job promotion. What if I try something different? Maybe you were recently laid off or you're out of work right now. Again, your circumstances could be viewed as an opportunity to build that next thing in your life, right? And so he posted his first video. He discovered really what we're talking about now. I believe he was a part of one of these challenges. And then eventually, dives into our entire framework and he posts his first video. But here's what's cool is like, look at the situation here. No fancy lighting, no fancy microphone or anything. Like just filming in his office. And after starting YouTube in 6 months, he grew 53,000 subscribers, got almost 900,000 views, and he only posted 13 videos. I love this case study because it speaks to the power of not just posting videos, but posting the right videos. Because he went into this having researched everything that we're talking about and thinking about, okay, what videos should I make? But the point of this tip is write catchy titles that are also findable in search. So for example, he made a video on, is it possible to live off dividends? A guide to dividend growth. And he got 102,000 views over 2 years answering specific questions. Pretty cool. But check this out. best inflation stocks. So remember, we were just looking at the YouTube search bar, and you might type in stocks or inflation stocks. And so 3 words, best inflation stocks. He identifies this is a really good video idea to make, and it's something he could talk about as a chartered financial analyst. But then he doesn't just take those first 3 words, which would be like the keyword phrase or like the searchable phrase. He powers up the title. He writes the title that's much more interesting. Let's look at this. Best inflation stocks, my mega plan to profit from inflation and secure the bag as a CFA. So he has both. That's what I want you to write down. I want to make sure that I title my video so that it contains the question, the topic, the keyword people are searching for. But I also want the title to be interesting, clickable, exciting, and maybe even a little bit of your personality. I mean, he says, and secure the bag. I mean, talk about some, let's go, Larry, like let's secure the bag. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, like, I mean, people aren't searching like, how do I secure my stock bag? How do I secure the bag? But it's both. It's like, man, can I make the title interesting and searchable? And he stacks it with different things. Even the fact he's a CFA, there's a little bit of authority there. So he's got the search base, he's got the authority, he's got kind of what you're about to learn. He's got the secure the bag, speaks a little bit to his personality. Not everybody would say that, especially most chartered financial analysts. He got 1.2 million views. 1.2 million, which really speaks to how you can answer specific questions. What are the best inflation stocks? But also tap into kind of the new rules of YouTube success, click-through rate, and some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about over the next 4 days and next 4 sessions. And, YouTube revealed, think with Google being the owners of YouTube. Really, Alphabet is the parent company of Google and YouTube. But anyways, 86% of US viewers say they often use YouTube to learn new things. Back to solving problems and answering questions. 86% of US viewers say they use YouTube to learn new things. So Larry has been attracting people that he can help. And his career has, again, exceeded his wildest dreams. Getting passed up for promotion turned out to be the greatest blessing that could have come to his life, because it triggered a shift, triggered him to think different, triggered him to kind of shift into this entrepreneur, start a YouTube channel thing. He tripled down, wanted to master everything he could learn, invested in his skills, started before he was ready. And, fast forward to today, from answering specific questions and helping his viewers learn new things and solve problems, he has got that silver play button. Now, actually, if you want title specific information, we actually have a really cool resource called our 15 best YouTube title formulas for getting views. And after researching all of our channels and our students' channels, this is different than even anything you can get on AI. It's like the best, most vetted formulas that you can just plug and play your channel and your topic into your channel niche and come up with some great video ideas and titles that'll be highly clickable. That's just one of the many resources in our YouTube starter kit. And if you're interested in that, you could go to tubestarterkit.com. Some of the people, when joining the challenge, you'll see that there's like a one-time offer right when you join, but we have this on discount during our 5-day challenge. If that's something you're interested in, that's our 15 best YouTube title formulas, as well as our create awesome thumbnails training. We have some Canva templates in addition to the ones that Canva has, right? 51 money-making video ideas, YouTube clarity blueprint. It's really, really cool. If you're not interested, no big deal, but that's at tubestarterkit.com. And we can drop a link in the chat wherever you're watching, or if you are watching the public stream of this on Think Media Podcast, check out the show notes or the YouTube description if you're interested in the discounted price on our YouTube starter kit. All right, fact. Just one ASQ video can help your channel get thousands of subscribers and make thousands of dollars. As we land the plane with our final few tips here of how to apply the answer specific question strategy, I think it's important to know that in some cases, if these videos just get you a few views and get you 1 subscriber, 3 subscribers, the way our YouTube channels grow is 1 subscriber at a time, right? And so a lot of times we're all looking for like these viral hits, which here's what I've learned. When you focus on the fundamentals, adding value, and doing strategies like the ASQ strategy day in and day out, Viral comes kind of as a byproduct. Well, I had no idea that video was going to like really pop off, but you just commit to the strategy. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to improve with every upload. And viral comes. In fact, I'm going to kind of illustrate that one ASQ video could help you get 100, 1,000, or even thousands of subscribers and earn thousands of dollars. Like, for example, I made a video. Remember the YouTube search bar? Best copyright-free music for YouTube. So I made a video 5 years ago on what are 3 websites to get free music for your YouTube videos that won't get you a copyright strike. Okay. Now here's what's wild is this video single-handedly has grown my channel 56,000 subscribers and has earned $39,628. Now, that's kind of crazy, right? One video. And as much as I know people would certainly accuse me, Sean, it's your hype. I actually would love to give you like the anti-hype message. Like, let's make this very street level. I understand you're juggling work, life, you got other stuff going on. And when you start a YouTube channel, sometimes you're like, dude, I just edited a video for 7 hours and I just got 7 views. Good for you, Sean. But let me encourage you. Imagine if you got 10% of those results, which I know you're capable of. Following the ASQ strategy, learning the best practices that we're going to be talking about through the rest of the challenge. If one video got you 10% of these results, well, then what would that mean? That would mean that that video would grow your channel 5,600 subscribers or 560. I don't actually know what the math is, right? But that'd be really good, right? And then if you got 10% of the ad revenue, one video like this, I mean, look at the watch time hours, 177,000 watch time hours. You need 4,000 to get monetized. So one video could get your channel monetized. One video could grow your channel to 1,000 subscribers. Maybe a better way to look at it is if you got 1/50th of the results of this video, then that would be enough to hit 1,000 subscribers and to earn you a few $100s or a few $1,000s. See what I mean? So I just want to encourage you. What am I after here? I'm not saying that a very niche specific answer specific questions video on bass fishing has the potential to grow to this size. What I am saying is that when you consistently use the ASQ method and you answer specific questions and you continue to master the YouTube best practices, it helps you consistently post videos. You start with the simplest and easiest videos to make, get better at writing titles. But like clockwork, I have witnessed our students that just commit to the system. They're like video 5, video 15, video 21. They're like, I thought that video was actually my worst video. I was kind of sick that day and like my hair wasn't right and whatever. And now I look back and I had this weird like high pitch to my voice. And yet that video is like now gets views every single month. And then you look back after a year and you're like, that video single-handedly got me 956 subscribers. ASQ strategy. I've seen it so many times. You might say like, Sean, you have a lot of conviction. I've seen it so many times that like my conviction on this strategy is unshakable. I'm like, it just works. Like I promise you, like it's guaranteed to work if you work it. It sometimes might go slow at the start, but slow and steady wins the race. And so the bottom line is you don't need millions of views to succeed on YouTube either. This video got 4.4 million views. But my niche of people wanting to learn YouTube's bigger than a lot of niches. But here's what's cool. Let me give you one other example of somebody that's in like a smaller niche. And that's specifically like helping business owners. So you don't need millions of views to succeed on YouTube. If you've got smart monetization strategies, then you could generate significant income if you have a smaller engaged audience. So remember on day 5, we're going to be talking about those monetization strategies. But this is Stacy. And she got 12,000 views, still great, but not even close to millions, right? Just 12,000 views. And she made a very specific video, how to create metrics that matter and the 3 most important areas to track. Well, Stacy generates multiple millions of dollars in her business, and she doesn't need millions of views. She just wants the right views. So what's cool about the ASQ strategy is sometimes all we chase is views. What would you rather have, 1 million views or $1 million in the bank? What would you rather have, 1 million views or the right views of an engaged audience, 1,000 true fans that join your Patreon or support you in the community? So I'd much rather have a core engaged community than a viral YouTube short. So you don't need millions of views. When you use the ASQ strategy connected with a smart business model, then things can get really interesting. So my question for you is this: what is a specific question you could answer on your YouTube channel? What is an ASQ video you could make? Go to the YouTube search bar, and during our challenge, we have challenges. We'll tell you a little bit more about this at the end of the stream. But this is the homework for today: identifying not just what questions could I answer, but what specific questions could I answer? I just came up with another S. How many S's could we do? ASSSSQ. Answer stupid, specific, simple, strategic questions. There's the fourth S. The ASQ method. Because the point is to identify, ooh, that one was good. Because like in your research process, that first tip, research before you press record, that's the skill you need to master, is like kind of developing the ability like Neo in the Matrix. Like you got agents after you, people trying to take you out, hide your kids, hide your wife. And all of a sudden, boom, you start seeing the lines in the Matrix. I can dodge bullets. It's a research skill to look at these tools, and we'll help you build that skill and identify something that's, man, that's kind of stupid and that's really specific and it seems kind of simple, but this will be really strategic if I answer this question for how it could connect to ways of earning money. And again, 70% of viewers are using YouTube to help them solve a problem or learn something. So these ASQ videos that you can make next will be very powerful. But let's land the plane on tip number 5. And this, I really believe this is fundamental to making this whole thing work, especially the journey of building a profitable YouTube channel. And tip number 5 is know your goals and get clear on why you want to grow your channel. So during our 5-day challenge, I want us to get on the same page and even take some time to journal this out. What are your goals? And why do you want to start a YouTube channel? Why do you want to succeed on YouTube? And if you're journaling, maybe it's you know, again, to be a homeowner for the first time, maybe to be the first homeowner in your family. Maybe it's better vacations. Maybe it's significance and legacy. Maybe you want to start a movement, or you want to raise money for a cause, bring awareness to a cause. Maybe your passion is leadership or faith or family. Maybe it's to prove your parents or your haters wrong. Come on, you know, maybe it's to live up to your God-given potential. Like, why do you want to succeed on YouTube? You know, when I ask myself this question, I'm reminded of sort of the life-changing event that triggered me to go all in on YouTube. And if you haven't heard my story, in 2009, my wife, Sonia, almost died. And I had mentioned, you know, I was making videos for the church, and then we eventually started our own video production business. But in 2009, my wife, after being sick for a few years and getting a feeding tube in her nose to get her weight up because she dropped to 82 pounds, had to be hospitalized because of a medical error. And they were going to install a feeding tube, jejunum, in her intestine, but they placed it wrong. So instead of that liquid going into where it was supposed to go, it was filling up her body cavity, which will suffocate your organs and kill you quick. And so rushed her to the hospital, and I found myself in the hospital by my wife's side for 6 days. And it gave me a lot of time to honestly worry, but reflect of, God, what are we going to do? And, you know, what is how are we going to get out of this? And medical bills. And she was actually the primary breadwinner. Like, my wife is such an incredible fighter and hustler and stays so joyful even during the hardest seasons of her life. And to be on death's door like that, and to be like watching, it was jarring to my very core. And I'll never forget sitting in that hospital room. I felt like I had a choice, kind of like I had two paths. Like, you hit these pivotal moments in your life. And one was, I could go down this path of giving into the weight of it, the despair, the depression of it. And I don't think you'd blame me if I chose that path, because it's so heavy. Like, it's the weight of it all. But I felt like God challenging me, like, Sean, you need to man up. You need to step up and fight for your family. And so when I think about why, and that spark that fueled me, for me, it was family first. I was fighting for my faith, fighting for my family. And it was a motivation that it wasn't just, it would be nice to make more money. It was like, I've got medical bills. And so I felt like this other path that, again, maybe the hardest things in my life that are happening to me are actually happening for me. Maybe this is a setup, because I've been doing YouTube for a while, and I'd actually already started studying kind of like online marketing and ways of making money online. And so I had time to think about, man, what could be possible? There's sort of an epiphany that happened in that hospital room. What if I could do YouTube for myself and not just for my church to help support my family? And could this be possible? So that's what triggered me to go all in, and not by all in the sense of like quitting my job. Cause I worked full-time at a church, and with healthcare, for like $40,000 a year with my salary. So I had a baseline to support my family, but the fire for my side hustle didn't go out from that moment, because I had figured out my why. Why do you want to succeed on YouTube? One of the things I learned ultimately was this, and it's worth writing down, that reasons come first, results come second. That if you've got a strong enough why, you'll figure out the how. If you've got a strong enough why, you'll figure out the how. And my reasons, because what I found with the creator economy and all this stuff is cool, is a lot of people want to get in the creator economy for fame, for fortune. And like, I'm not a saint. Like, I was like, it'd be cool to like, this would be, yes, I would love to like, be able to like flex a little bit. Like, okay, for sure. But I found that those motivations are like ultimately not enough. They're like wealth and influence is a cool byproduct, but like a dangerous thing to make the main thing. But when you really attach your YouTube channel to mission, to purpose, to deeper reasons, I believe this quote with my whole heart: reasons come first, results come second. And so I share this as almost the most important tip during this challenge. As we're using the ASQ strategy, I want your reasons to get as clear as possible. What are your goals for your YouTube channel? Why do you want to succeed on YouTube? Because if you can tap into, there's some human psychology motivation stuff behind this, of really getting a fire that will help you crash through quitting points. Reasons come first, results come second. And with my wife almost dying in 2009, now it's 15 years later. And just to kind of give you an update, it's crazy the journey we've been on. In fact, doctors told us we would never be able to have kids. And so the fact we've had two miracle boys, they just turned 2 and 4 recently, Sean and John. And from shooting that first video where I wasn't energetic or entertaining, kind of come a long way. But I want to encourage you, never compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. Because, man, let me just shout out also like Kyle on the team. This is like the crispiest shot I've ever seen. We got the light saber, you got the gold play button. We have got this Gobo fake window light behind me. Whatever. That's 15 years later. Never compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. And sometimes we overestimate what we can accomplish a year and underestimate what we can accomplish in 15 years. If you get clear on your goals right now, you get clear on your reasons right now, and then you commit to doing the work, where could you be in the next 3 months? Where could you be by January 1st, 2025? Where could you be by January 1st, 2026? Focused, diligent, starting before you're ready, building new skills. It's crazy to look back, taking that leap of faith and then going all in. Today, Think Media is like 30 W-2 employees or something. But this is what I'm most excited about, is our students. And it brings me to this question as we end. I think back that motivation originally was like fighting for my own family's survival. Was like, can we pay medical bills? Can we meet our own needs? And can I take care of my wife? And what does the future hold? But what's crazy is I now look back at our event that we do in Vegas. We do an award ceremony. And for those who came to the event in person, we were giving out these Video Ranking Academy awards. And to shake people's hands and to hug people who had built successful YouTube channels. In some cases, very small channels that are earning big money, 6- and 7-figure incomes. In other cases, people that have gotten gold play buttons. There's so many different paths to success. Seeing all the life transformation, all the different stories, hearing those from people, it led me to realize that oftentimes you overcoming the resistance and maybe the discouragement and fear in front of you isn't just about you and your family. It's about the people waiting on the other side of you taking massive, bold action. Like, think about this question. Who is waiting for you to show up and take your goals seriously? Like, seriously, who is waiting for you to overcome that fear and overcome that hesitation and overcome those bad habits and overcome that procrastination? Who is waiting for you to show up and take your goals seriously? I believe YouTube is a massive opportunity for you. And I need to encourage you, it's not going to be easy, but it's possible. And in this challenge, I think it's important we develop the right mindset and even the right intensity. Big goals don't happen from casual effort. But if you're committed, if you're willing to learn and skill up and get uncomfortable, I believe not only for your family, but this is why we want to help purpose-driven people, that you can actually make a difference in people's lives from the ASQ strategy and from what we're going to be talking about over the next 5 sessions during this challenge. So here's a recap. Number 1, YouTube is healthy and growing. Number 2, use the ASQ method to get 1,000 subscribers and beyond. Number 3, start with simple videos that are easier to create. And number 4, write down your goals and reasons why you want to succeed on YouTube. Remember, Goldman Sachs research revealed that the next 3 years are going to be the best 3 years in the creator economy. And so it's time to go all in. In fact, type all in the chat if you're here live, because commitment is the foundation of all great accomplishments. And let me challenge you a couple things. 1, commitment, of course, to YouTube and your online business and actually doing the work, but also just commitment to this challenge. Now, I don't want to ruffle your feathers, but let me challenge you to not miss any of the next 4 sessions. And I get it. You're busy. You got stuff going on. There's things happening. But like, honestly, if you can't attend the next 4 sessions, and I know you maybe can't be there live, but in a 24-hour period, you could just stay up an hour later or get up an hour earlier. You can catch all of the replays. Like, if you can't complete this challenge, then why do you think you will complete getting a silver play button? Just something powerful that we could do together right now. If you're not sure you want to commit, fine, but type all in if you're committed, because commitment is the foundation of all great accomplishments. I haven't accomplished things in my life because I was just interested. I accomplished things when I'm committed. For about 10 years of my life, I was interested in getting in shape. What did that mean? Not much. It meant that I didn't work out, but I thought about it. What happened? I started having some health problems, just a little pain, chronic pain. It was a wake-up call. Now I've been at the gym 2-3 nights a week. Thank God for the YMCA Kids Zone. My kids get to play and I get to focus on the gains. I shifted from being interested to being committed. I shifted from being casual to being committed. And so let me just challenge you. Let's commit to follow through on this challenge, to show up to all the sessions or replays, and maybe most importantly, to do the daily challenges. Oh, Sean, this has been some good information. I'll get around to taking action on it later. No. This week, it's kind of a busy week. I got family in town. You can, if you got a strong enough why, you'll always figure out the how. And what I'm asking you to do is to do the challenges during our challenge, right? And so 1, if you're not registered, you can register at tube1kchallenge.com so you can get the next 4 sessions. But wherever you're watching, this is like where the rubber meets the road. Is we have daily challenges where we learn something, but now it's time to do something. It's to implement what you've learned, because this momentum that we want to build here is not just about the next 5 days. It's actually about the next 5 years, isn't it? Like Mary, from starting YouTube, 5 years later, 1 million subscribers and a book deal. It's kind of crazy and fathomable, but that speaks to the brick by brick. Rome wasn't built in a day, but brick by brick. And these challenges are key to the transformation and internalizing the learnings that we've just gone through.